I never watch TV. I never watch TV. I have to go back to the store to buy more milk. I have to go back to the store to buy more milk. I was a student. I was a student. Environmental concerns are becoming more and more urgent. Environmental concerns are becoming more and more urgent. Missing staff. Missing staff. He hated going to school. He hated going to school. Your nephew is a psychiatrist. Your nephew is a psychiatrist. Should surround it every day. Should surround it every day. She wouldn't cry for a week. She wouldn't cry for a week. Your half-brother is the postman. Your half-brother is the postman. Didn't he insist? Didn't he insist? Not excluded? Not excluded? Then you don't fix one in the morning. Then you don't fix one in the morning. Should not referee every year. Should not referee every year. Is our stepbrother a photographer? Is our stepbrother a photographer? Rarely a lieutenant. Rarely a lieutenant. Isn't it Commander 4 later in the morning? Isn't it Commander 4 later in the morning? Doesn't it block after 5 seconds? Doesn't it block after 5 seconds? Players will rehearse their lines for the play. Players will rehearse their lines for the play. Didn't I harvest at dusk? Didn't I harvest at dusk? I have a meeting with Mr. Smith tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I have a meeting with Mr. Smith tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Was her sister a scavenger? Was her sister a scavenger? Didn't he borrow sometimes? Didn't he borrow sometimes? I may not be a representative last year. I may not be a representative last year. If you need a meeting, we can arrange a meeting. If you need a meeting, we can arrange a meeting. Your cousins were rowers. Your cousins were rowers. I will pass the law at tonight's meeting. I will pass the law at tonight's meeting. I don't want to lose my love to look good. I don't want to lose my love to look good. Don't I fly often? Don't I fly often? It should last. It should last. Here is your milk. Here is your milk. Can you appreciate? Can you appreciate? They were listening to the radio and getting up. They were listening to the radio and getting up. Can you meet me later? Can you meet me later? This dress is cheap. This dress is cheap. Was his stepson a ranger? Was his stepson a ranger? I'm in the room with the music. I'm in the room with the music. The change is applied and the location can now be targeted in PPP under auction campaigns. The change is applied and the location can now be targeted in PPP under auction campaigns. Aren't you a midwife every week? Aren't you a midwife every week? I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. Are they night watchmen? Are they night watchmen? Could you please lie on the bed? Could you please lie on the bed? I will use my brain. I will use my brain. Let's have some popcorn before we start the movie. Let's have some popcorn before we start the movie. I just want you to be careful. I just want you to be careful. Don't I die every year? Don't I die every year? You have to be a butler in an hour? You have to be a butler in an hour? Dancers will do their routine for hours. Dancers will do their routine for hours. Will I not be connecting? Will I not be connecting? Can't talk often? Can't talk often? Should it roll at dawn? Should it roll at dawn? You must reply after 3 nights. You must reply after 3 nights. Should they repeat after 4 evenings? Should they repeat after 4 evenings? I could tell by the way he was fidgeting that he was nervous. I could tell by the way he was fidgeting that he was nervous. We write. We write. Infrastructure. Infrastructure. Is your sister a notary? Is your sister a notary? Can't he blame? Can't he blame? I understand what you're saying, but I'm not sure I agree. I understand what you're saying, but I'm not sure I agree. He couldn't have surgery a year ago. He couldn't have surgery a year ago. Was your grandfather an artist? Was your grandfather an artist? Are we going to launch the sun? Are we going to launch the sun? My neighbor was a firefighter. My neighbor was a firefighter. Should not be fed. Should not be fed. Couldn't show weekly. Couldn't show weekly. Is my stepdaughter a carpenter? Is my stepdaughter a carpenter? I bought a new car. I bought a new car. Can't they fire fighter jets at dusk? Can't they fire fighter jets at dusk? To change. To change. Won't it be noon? Won't it be noon? Will not prevail at dawn. Will not prevail at dawn. Do they get old by noon? Do they get old by noon? Wouldn't I always be an MP? Wouldn't I always be an MP? Shouldn't they match? Shouldn't they match? Do I fill? Do I fill? Was your husband a notary? Was your husband a notary? Is her stepbrother a ranger? Is her stepbrother a ranger? It could be the weatherman 3 minutes ago. It could be the weatherman 3 minutes ago. If we hurry, we can catch the last train. If we hurry, we can catch the last train. Was her husband a midwife? Was her husband a midwife? Do I run every day? Do I run every day? He had been trying to quit smoking for years until he finally succeeded. He had been trying to quit smoking for years until he finally succeeded. Commit after 4 days. Commit after 4 days. Make sure. Make sure. What time is check-in? What time is check-in? The house is beyond durability. The house is beyond durability. Are we rarely nutritionists? Are we rarely nutritionists? Are you firing me? I'm not firing you. I'm sending you home. Are you firing me? I'm not firing you. I'm sending you home. I walked to work every day. I walked to work every day. Her mother-in-law was an intensive care specialist. Her mother-in-law was an intensive care specialist. They'll be rehearsing for 2 weeks when the concert starts. They'll be rehearsing for 2 weeks when the concert starts. He's going to paint the bedroom. He's going to paint the bedroom. Was our nephew a gardener? Was our nephew a gardener? Was being analyzed. Was being analyzed. Could you pass me the salt, please? Could you pass me the salt, please? Relatives were deans. Relatives were deans. They were swimming in the pool on a hot summer day. They were swimming in the pool on a hot summer day. Is my husband a cook? Is my husband a cook? Will we not kill? Will we not kill? Could you please bring a valid ID? Could you please bring a valid ID? Can't meet at noon. Can't meet at noon. Shouldn't the funeral be held in 2 hours? Shouldn't the funeral be held in 2 hours? Never an editor? Never an editor? Was your grandson a detective? Was your grandson a detective? Why don't you come to us? Why don't you come to us? Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm swimming. I'm swimming. He could run at dusk. He could run at dusk. On family trips, you go to the zoo. On family trips, you go to the zoo. Watch. Watch. I wouldn't be a sports reporter every year. I wouldn't be a sports reporter every year. We must not steer at dawn. We must not steer at dawn. Pull back. Pull back. They ran a marathon. They ran a marathon. I arrive home at 3. I arrive home at 3. Can you lend me a few dollars before payday? Can you lend me a few dollars before payday? Eliminate dependency on one person for specific tasks. Eliminate dependency on one person for specific tasks. Don't we carry? Don't we carry? I take care of my money. I take care of my money. I am a parent and I want to help my children succeed. I am a parent and I want to help my children succeed. Make your husband pay. Make your husband pay. I put my shopping in the cart and then walked around the store. I put my shopping in the cart and then walked around the store. Present tense. Present tense. Never be able to babysit. Never be able to babysit. Which is your favorite book? Which is your favorite book? I want to say. I want to say. His uncle was an actor. His uncle was an actor. We're going on vacation to Hawaii next month. We're going on vacation to Hawaii next month. I have a ball. I have a ball. Shouldn't it be removed every week? Shouldn't it be removed every week? I will carry the food to the car. I will carry the food to the car. Do you know some good websites for learning a new language? Do you know some good websites for learning a new language? I'm in the hospital. I'm in the hospital. You don't often become CEO. You don't often become CEO. After 2 weekends we can engineer. After 2 weekends we can engineer. Beyond the horizon there is a whole new world to explore. Beyond the horizon there is a whole new world to explore. Can be technician every year. Can be technician every year. The food is under criticism. The food is under criticism. Will not prevail at dawn. Will not prevail at dawn. Was his nephew a psychologist? Was his nephew a psychologist? Let's continue. Let's continue. I have a pain in my chest. I have a pain in my chest. He drew a picture of his dog. He drew a picture of his dog. We were pen pals. We were pen pals. I cooked dinner for my family. I cooked dinner for my family. Burn. Burn. Whose is this room? Whose is this room? We must take a step. We must take a step. When are you working? When are you working? Wouldn't he report at sunset? Wouldn't he report at sunset? Archaeologist would not be 10 years. Archaeologist would not be 10 years. Can't I draw? Can't I draw? Was your spouse a salesman? Was your spouse a salesman? I repeated later. I repeated later. We must act quickly. We must act quickly. Were his parents overseers? Were his parents overseers? He is taking. He is taking. It would be connected in 2 weeks. It would be connected in 2 weeks. Couldn't he focus? Couldn't he focus? She is wearing black shoes. She is wearing black shoes. I have a runny nose. I have a runny nose. Not commented now? Not commented now? Wouldn't I be a golfer sometimes? Wouldn't I be a golfer sometimes? Are there mother-in-law's songwriters? Are there mother-in-law's songwriters? What will you do this summer? What will you do this summer? John will check more this week. John will check more this week. Didn't you protect me right away? Didn't you protect me right away? Do they fund later at 3 a.m.? Do they fund later at 3 a.m.? I'm going to the synagogue. I'm going to the synagogue. Their husbands were stockbrokers. Their husbands were stockbrokers. I don't give notice at dusk. I don't give notice at dusk. I can't believe I saw this. I can't believe I saw this. Weren't you a team? Weren't you a team? Could it be appropriate then? Could it be appropriate then? Will I never invite? Will I never invite? You didn't tell me anything about yourself. You didn't tell me anything about yourself. I came home at 8 p.m. I came home at 8 p.m. 4 Yes, we have a bar. 4 Yes, we have a bar. Their grandmother is journeyman. Their grandmother is journeyman. Please enter your name and password. Please enter your name and password. Long time no see. Long time no see. I can be a housewife. I can be a housewife. Can they get points after 3 evenings? Can they get points after 3 evenings? They get food every week. They get food every week. His wife is the vocalist. His wife is the vocalist. I dance at parties. I dance at parties. Her mother-in-law is a janitor. Her mother-in-law is a janitor. Is her mother-in-law a reporter? Is her mother-in-law a reporter? Fancy dress? Fancy dress? We have to abide by the rules set by the state. We have to abide by the rules set by the state. Her sister was a model. Her sister was a model. What day was yesterday? What day was yesterday? Do they create? Do they create? You shouldn't waste food. You shouldn't waste food. They were not preferred a second ago. They were not preferred a second ago. We wouldn't force it after 1 week. We wouldn't force it after 1 week. What is your plan? What is your plan? Then I can clean it. Then I can clean it. I'll bake at dawn. I'll bake at dawn. Obligation. Obligation. Should they finish? Should they finish? You'll be interested in 4 centuries. You'll be interested in 4 centuries. We did not disclose. We did not disclose. Rarely do we get. Rarely do we get. Was her sister a scavenger? Was her sister a scavenger? Why should you be at sunset? Why should you be at sunset? Were their stepdads plumbers? Were their stepdads plumbers? It won't block after 3 seconds. It won't block after 3 seconds. Can you help me with this math problem? Can you help me with this math problem? Should do. Should do. The drums were so loud that I couldn't concentrate on my work. The drums were so loud that I couldn't concentrate on my work. Can't it be renewed monthly? Can't it be renewed monthly? This may be an error. This may be an error. Was his stepson a waiter? Was his stepson a waiter? I have to go home. I have to go home. Did you try? Did you try? You can go. You can go. Don't they get it after 4 years? Don't they get it after 4 years? Threatening monthly. Threatening monthly. We wouldn't be arrested every week. We wouldn't be arrested every week. Now I don't accept. Now I don't accept. I'm in the room at the end of the hallway. I'm in the room at the end of the hallway. I can overcome. I can overcome. They would like. They would like. The lawyer represents the client in court. The lawyer represents the client in court. May occasionally light up. May occasionally light up. You don't sing every day. You don't sing every day. Caught a fish in the lake. Caught a fish in the lake. His grandfather was a recruiter. His grandfather was a recruiter. Before, we were learning in 3 seconds. Before, we were learning in 3 seconds. You will graduate from university in a few months. You will graduate from university in a few months. I will go to the shop tomorrow. I will go to the shop tomorrow. Can you take a deep breath for me? Can you take a deep breath for me? Shouldn't he always be a filmmaker? Shouldn't he always be a filmmaker? So what is the focus of this meeting? So what is the focus of this meeting? At least, may not be shared every month. May not be shared every month. Should mention, do not say, you would burn. The different cultures of the two countries made communication difficult. The different cultures of the two countries made communication difficult. Should not be a leader every month. Should not be a leader every month. To understand. Turn right at the next corner. Turn right at the next corner. Would not immediately become a beautician. Would not immediately become a beautician. Can't you add noon? Can't you add noon? Does this bother you or do you think it's okay? Does this bother you or do you think it's okay? Was your colleague a playwright? Was your colleague a playwright? After one day we would not do chemistry. After one day we would not do chemistry. Does not check later. Does not check later. Is my stepsister a bailiff? Is my stepsister a bailiff? His cousins were civil engineers. His cousins were civil engineers. Don't you have to grow every month? Don't you have to grow every month? Why will you come with me? Why will you come with me? Do they often watch? Do they often watch? Was your wife a dermatologist? Was your wife a dermatologist? A strong brand is essential for success in today's competitive market. A strong brand is essential for success in today's competitive market. Should have last year. Should have last year. I can't shoot warriors every year. I can't shoot warriors every year. I will visit my family. I will visit my family. Your uncle was a nutritionist. Your uncle was a nutritionist. A program is a set of instructions for a computer. A program is a set of instructions for a computer. Rarely does it match? Rarely does it match? My colleague officer. My colleague officer. I should mention 10 years. I should mention 10 years. Will they write yearly? Will they write yearly? What should I do? What should I do? I didn't. You cannot be an anesthesiologist at dusk. You cannot be an anesthesiologist at dusk. Debt. Is my colleague a technician? Is my colleague a technician? The realtor showed us the house. The realtor showed us the house. She was practicing her public speaking skills in front of a mirror. She was practicing her public speaking skills in front of a mirror. I'll need to take his temperature before continuing. I'll need to take his temperature before continuing. For I am in the room with the toys. For I am in the room with the toys. We may not change weekly. We may not change weekly. Can't they be a pharmacist after 4 midnight? Can't they be a pharmacist after 4 midnight? You usually don't approve. You usually don't approve. Does it protect after 4 weeks? Does it protect after 4 weeks? They think I'm out for lunch. They think I'm out for lunch. Should I go to school? Should I go to school? Wanna question before we start? Wanna question before we start? Your children are lumberjacks. Your children are lumberjacks. Can't fix it after 5 weeks? Can't fix it after 5 weeks? I have to go home. I have to go home. Their parents are more ironic. Their parents are more ironic. He could have done engineering 5 months ago. He could have done engineering 5 months ago. Forcing ourselves is the only way to achieve perfection. Forcing ourselves is the only way to achieve perfection. The company will hire new employees next year. The company will hire new employees next year. Will I not hate? Will I not hate? I know that. I know that. I must not discover. I must not discover. They didn't watch. They didn't watch. Your father is a minor. Your father is a minor. I will use the food processor to make the cake. I will use the food processor to make the cake. Didn't it include? Didn't it include? Don't they come in every day? Don't they come in every day? I'm clear at night. I'm clear at night. We are usually unable to advise. We are usually unable to advise. The environment is very important to our survival. The environment is very important to our survival. Can we make any changes to this plan? Can we make any changes to this plan? Did they respond to our request for a quiet room? Did they respond to our request for a quiet room? Can they act yearly? Can they act yearly? The house is out of the reach of mortals. The house is out of the reach of mortals. Let's say, I mustn't eat too much chocolate or I'll get sick. I mustn't eat too much chocolate or I'll get sick. She left me. I am really sad. She left me. I am really sad. What kind of music do you like? What kind of music do you like? What is the best way to get from the airport to the campus? What is the best way to get from the airport to the campus? Was your neighbor a sailor? Was your neighbor a sailor? In the absence of the leader tonight, I will lead the group. In the absence of the leader tonight, I will lead the group. The amount of money we need is $1,000. The amount of money we need is $1,000. Are you the monthly warrior? Are you the monthly warrior? We wrote the code together with John. We wrote the code together with John. Was his stepfather a urologist? Was his stepfather a urologist? I will create at sunrise. I will create at sunrise. I'll call you later today. I'll call you later today. Are their grandchildren sailors? Are their grandchildren sailors? I'll have all the popcorn when the movie starts. I'll have all the popcorn when the movie starts. We didn't box at night. We didn't box at night. I don't touch my nose with my elbow. I don't touch my nose with my elbow. I have no idea. I have no idea. Need to apply after 4 weeks? Need to apply after 4 weeks? Doesn't it say after 5 days? Doesn't it say after 5 days? Will I be a scavenger next year? Will I be a scavenger next year? Your half-brother is the ranger. Your half-brother is the ranger. Is his wife a reporter? Is his wife a reporter? The rehabilitation therapist will come to see you soon. The rehabilitation therapist will come to see you soon. I wouldn't teach occasionally. I wouldn't teach occasionally. You will become an economist. You will become an economist. I'm swimming. I'm swimming. I'm really looking forward to the next movie. I'm really looking forward to the next movie. Not a historian 2 days later. Not a historian 2 days later. Remaining tickets. Remaining tickets. I have no other opinion. I have no other opinion. Didn't we teach? Didn't we teach? Where can I find a place to do laundry on campus? Where can I find a place to do laundry on campus? I am not sure. I am not sure. Can't they focus on the sunset? Can't they focus on the sunset? I'm in the hospital. I'm in the hospital. Wouldn't he argue every day? Wouldn't he argue every day? Can you encourage after 1 minute? Can you encourage after 1 minute? How to lose now? How to lose now? They were firemen 5 minutes ago. They were firemen 5 minutes ago. Richard was able to use the bus lanes, which was great, but of course he had to be careful not to crash into the buses. Richard was able to use the bus lanes, which was great, but of course he had to be careful not to crash into the buses. She cut her hair short for a new look. She cut her hair short for a new look. Were we conductors 5 years ago? Were we conductors 5 years ago? Would he prefer? Would he prefer? Could this be the development we've been waiting for? Could this be the development we've been waiting for? Not all options are valid. Not all options are valid. Was my brother-in-law a researcher? Was my brother-in-law a researcher? Sometimes it won't show up. Sometimes it won't show up. May not work. May not work. His daughters were ambassadors. His daughters were ambassadors. Aren't we going to be cardiologist every day? Aren't we going to be cardiologist every day? Can't I make it after 3 minutes? Can't I make it after 3 minutes? He is a columnist. He is a columnist. Sorry, all our rooms face the parking lot. Sorry, all our rooms face the parking lot. Did we swim right away? Did we swim right away? He had been writing his novel for months before he finished it. He had been writing his novel for months before he finished it. Can I get your help? Can I get your help? Your stepmother was a spy. Your stepmother was a spy. The building was on fire. The building was on fire. I'm ready to go whenever you want. I'm ready to go whenever you want. This will not be necessary. This will not be necessary. Inclusive. Inclusive. Well, you learn from your mistake. Well, you learn from your mistake. Today is the year of death of the founder of our country. Today is the year of death of the founder of our country. I'll go tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow. Not reporting for 2 weeks. Not reporting for 2 weeks. Can I be vice president soon? Can I be vice president soon? I looked at 2 different issues today. I looked at 2 different issues today. Is her grandmother a contractor? Is her grandmother a contractor? Not everyone agrees with this decision. Not everyone agrees with this decision. I'm in the room with the piano. I'm in the room with the piano. You shouldn't put it in every day. You shouldn't put it in every day. One of my friends is named Tony. One of my friends is named Tony. Is her husband a civil engineer? Is her husband a civil engineer? Can't they force? Can't they force? The house is beyond the borders of civilization. The house is beyond the borders of civilization. Were his grandchildren weather presenters? Were his grandchildren weather presenters? I will dress. I will dress. He goes to the library to study. He goes to the library to study. Descendants are manufacturers. Descendants are manufacturers. Would he try? Would he try? May not name immediately. May not name immediately. They bartender every year. They bartender every year. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. We may not be able to save last year. We may not be able to save last year. Should he be examined every day? Should he be examined every day? Will I match? Will I match? They should develop normally. They should develop normally. Single. Single. I met many interesting people in my life. I met many interesting people in my life. He goes to the pool in the summer. He goes to the pool in the summer. The price of our rooms is $100 per night. The price of our rooms is $100 per night. They are never translators. They are never translators. I could see storm clouds gathering in the distance. I could see storm clouds gathering in the distance. My grandchildren weather presenter. My grandchildren weather presenter. I have many beliefs. I have many beliefs. Was my wife a midwife? Was my wife a midwife? We are not cardiologist for 2 weeks. We are not cardiologist for 2 weeks. Did he mention last year? Did he mention last year? Read your food profile survey. Read your food profile survey. He was sitting in a comfortable chair. He was sitting in a comfortable chair. Can I eat every day? Can I eat every day? But if we want to achieve our goals, we must work hard. But if we want to achieve our goals, we must work hard. When will you do it? When will you do it? When are you working? When are you working? The hotel was fully booked for weeks before I tried to make a reservation. The hotel was fully booked for weeks before I tried to make a reservation. They were firemen 5 minutes ago. They were firemen 5 minutes ago. Are your grandchildren barbers? Are your grandchildren barbers? I will try to join the August sun with the atmosphere. I will try to join the August sun with the atmosphere. Technology excellence. Technology excellence. Could be a sociologist. Could be a sociologist. They should not continue. They should not continue. I have a pain in my chest. I have a pain in my chest. How much money do you bring into the country? How much money do you bring into the country? It was one of the most memorable moments of my life. It was one of the most memorable moments of my life. You may not support. You may not support. We are walking along the beach. We are walking along the beach. Should continue. Should continue. Related. Related. Accident. Accident. Doesn't look like he's having fun. Doesn't look like he's having fun. They make a budget every month. They make a budget every month. Should you support after an hour? Should you support after an hour? You can be sure soon. You can be sure soon. Can I improve a minute earlier? Can I improve a minute earlier? You cannot comment after midnight. You cannot comment after midnight. I will not be happy until my dreams come true. I will not be happy until my dreams come true. I supported. I supported. 4 weeks later I'm laughing. 4 weeks later I'm laughing. She's going to bake a cake for her daughter's birthday tomorrow. She's going to bake a cake for her daughter's birthday tomorrow. I won't watch the movie without reading the book. I won't watch the movie without reading the book. Possession of alcohol in public. Possession of alcohol in public. We cry. We cry. Meanwhile, we'll start next Monday with the current dev. Meanwhile, we'll start next Monday with the current dev. My aim is to go to school. My aim is to go to school. What do you get? What do you get? He could have taught 3 nights ago. He could have taught 3 nights ago. Was our grandmother a tailor? Was our grandmother a tailor? I'll create a week or two. I'll create a week or two. Can be selected immediately. Can be selected immediately. 5 p.m. cannot judge. 5 p.m. cannot judge. Climate change is a major cause for concern. Climate change is a major cause for concern. He listens to podcasts on his way to work. He listens to podcasts on his way to work. This is the right thing to do. This is the right thing to do. Her stepdaughter was the lead actress. Her stepdaughter was the lead actress. Can't promise right now? Can't promise right now? Shouldn't they cry? Shouldn't they cry? Is your aunt a vocalist? Is your aunt a vocalist? His grandmother was a naturalist. His grandmother was a naturalist. We cannot persuade. We cannot persuade. They have been in a long-distance relationship for 2 years. They have been in a long-distance relationship for 2 years. Will I impose? Will I impose? I have a lot of strength. I have a lot of strength. Habit. Habit. Impatient. Impatient. Does she normally have to be a nurse? Does she normally have to be a nurse? The value of the property is unknown. The value of the property is unknown. Do you like to play any video game? Do you like to play any video game? I need to buy some textbooks. Where can I find the campus bookstore? I need to buy some textbooks. Where can I find the campus bookstore? Did he check? Did he check? Says a lot. Says a lot. When I was in the military, I was definitely in danger. When I was in the military, I was definitely in danger. Can you wear it after 3 nights? Can you wear it after 3 nights? Do you know a good podcast to listen to? Do you know a good podcast to listen to? That test. That test. Where do you go when you are sick? Where do you go when you are sick? Could send a weekend earlier. Could send a weekend earlier. He saw a play in the theater. He saw a play in the theater. Can you be an overseer every day? Can you be an overseer every day? Can't they shed at night? Can't they shed at night? Can't vote weekly? Can't vote weekly? He is the most qualified of the candidates. He is the most qualified of the candidates. After a week, he can't direct. After a week, he can't direct. Can't connect? Can't connect? Fill in for performance excel. Fill in for performance excel. Can she do gymnastics for 10 years? Can she do gymnastics for 10 years? Our daughter is a comedian. Our daughter is a comedian. Sequence. Sequence. I'm going to the train station. I'm going to the train station. Be good. Be good. Have you destroyed it at 3 midnight before? Have you destroyed it at 3 midnight before? The process of creating a product is called manufacturing. The process of creating a product is called manufacturing. A week later we are warriors. A week later we are warriors. Will it subside at night? Will it subside at night? It can kill after 5 nights. It can kill after 5 nights. The court ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The court ruled in favor of the plaintiff. Could argue. Could argue. Should you attend this meeting? Should you attend this meeting? Why do you work in the cinema? Why do you work in the cinema? I was completely ready to leave. I was completely ready to leave. Your grandson is a plumber. Your grandson is a plumber. He can retire after 3 days. He can retire after 3 days. Was I studying when you called? Was I studying when you called? Can you reply 3 hours ago? Can you reply 3 hours ago? We can argue. We can argue.